Dante's discussion.
Welcome back to another edition of Dante's discussion. Somewhere, Dante's discussion questions. That's right, where I ask you the question about Dark Souls 3. Something interesting, something to get your brain juices flowing. This question should and hopefully will be no different. But the question is, in PvP, which weapon or weapon class is the most underrated? And by underrated, I don't necessarily mean one that's just not used. I mean one that isn't used, but also is pretty good. But there's just better options out there. So, looking at all these weapon classes, we see daggers. We see straight swords, great swords, ultras, curved katanas, curved great swords, piercing swords, axes, great axes, hammers, great hammers, fists, spears, pikes, halberds, reapers, whips. There are certain weapons here clearly awful, and whips, for the most part, whips are pretty bad. They're slow. Really, sort of the slowness kind of messes them. They have good range, and the only one people seem to use is witches' locks, which is unfortunate. And then you have other weapons like daggers, which I think daggers are underrated, but really sort of only two. So Corvian Great Knife and Tailbone Short Sword. Those are both daggers, which they at least have some range. Other than that, daggers are pretty tough to use, even with the weapon skill that allows you to sort of hop closer or get away from attacks. It's still tough, I gotta be honest. I haven't seen many people use those. So those are just basically things that aren't used, that maybe a little bit underwhelming or underrepresented. But I think one, at least for me, the most egregious, and I'm going to go specific and sort of a weapon class that I'm surprised about, are the axes. I am surprised axes are not utilized. In fact, in my play, I've actually seen more great axes being used. Specifically, Yorm's Great Machete, but I've seen more great axes being used than axes. And I think axes are not bad in this game. Do I think axes are as good as a lot of other weapons? No. They're a little bit short and a little bit slow compared to others, you know, straight swords and such. But I do think axes are really good. And for instance, specifically, I think the Butcher's Knife is a very underutilized weapon, and I think it's very good and underrepresented, which is crazy to me, because it is a great weapon. It's quick. Really what it is, it's quick for its size, and that's the thing that's tremendous about it. And I mean, if you can get lucky, you can gain some health back, even though I think it's pretty negligible. But I think that, at least for me, Butcher's Knife is the most surprising underrepresented weapon in the game, at least thus far. Obviously DLC's coming out, and I could revisit this question in the future, but as far as a weapon, I'm shocked that isn't used as much. I think I've seen this weapon used once in the past, and I'm talking just my videos, in the past like 150 fights, which is shocking to me. And I've seen maybe two other axes used, namely the only other axe I've ever seen anyone else use is the Thrall axe. And I think I've seen once like the Winged Knight twin axes. But I'm shocked. I'm shocked they're not used more. It's pretty sad that people seem to glom onto the meta weapons much more than just sort of have fun and try to get something or use something interesting. That is strange to me. That is strange. So I just want to know what you think about that. What you think is the most underrepresented. What you think is most underutilized weapon and class. I mean, you can have a different weapon and you can have a different class. That's fine. But I just want to see what you think and why you think that. Put it in the comments below. You'll be represented in the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think, and I will be back.